Hi, my name is Hannah Korn, and today for my persuasive speech, my topic of choice is that every vote matters. Every single vote in every single election, every race, it matters. So, just to get a little bit into this year has been crazy. Like, everyone can agree on that, whether it's the pandemic of COVID, the government officials that are in office at the moment, the killer bees. It has been crazy. It's been a crazy year. No matter where your stance on political issues is at, however you feel, like everyone can agree. It's been one crazy ride so far. So, just to get a little more into voting, when it comes down to voting, every single vote really does matter. And we'll give a few examples later on about that, but it really does. Like, every vote matters. And I feel like as young adults, this might be our first time voting, whether it's your first, second, whether it's your 20th time being able to vote in any type of election. Take advantage of this opportunity because it is important. This is very important. So the main problem here is that people are just simply not voting. People are either unable to vote, they're choosing not to vote, but they're not voting. There's many causes of this, whether it's a physical barrier, mental, all sorts of things. Also, we'll get more in depth in that later into the speech. But in the end, we're trying to change that. We're trying to get people to the polls. We're trying to get people voting, and we want everyone to have a voice. So to get a little deeper into what I just talked about, there are many people showing up not to vote. Many people. So there's actually a study done by Daniel Levine, and it was featured on Heavy Political News, that over 90 million Americans did not vote in the 2016 election. Let that sink in. 90 million people, eligible people who are of age, all of that, did not vote. Tell me why. I don't know. But it's crazy too, because so many people are unhappy with the results of the election or of what's going on. But it's like, did you vote? So that's just showing you right there, over 90 million people. Let that number sink in, because that's a crazy number. So too many people are just not showing up. They're not registering. They're not doing the things necessary to vote. So the reason for that, getting more into that, there's so many reasons that people are not voting, coming from laziness, physical barriers, mental barriers, but people are not voting. It's just not happening for some people. So to get a little more into depth, for the 4 top reasons why people didn't vote. So this was actually a featured article on a website, and it was by the Youth Changing the World, which is a great website to check into. It talks a lot about issues that are going on right now in the world. But the 4 top reasons that people did not vote, according to this website, is 1, they're not interested in politics, or they just think that their vote won't matter, which it will. 2, they're not encouraged by anyone. When we're in school, even in college, you're hearing people on campus, do you want to register? Do you want to do this? You're hearing about it. But people maybe in their field of work, or maybe they live by themselves, they maybe aren't hearing about it all the time. So they're not encouraged by anyone. No one's calling them like, did you register? Are you doing it? Many people are not educated on the process of how to register, how to vote, where to go to vote, so many different things, and just the government itself, which honestly, as a 19-year-old college student, I can kind of understand, because I wouldn't say that I know 100% how everything works, that I know 100% what I would do when I get in there and stuff, but I know as a person I would vote. But there's a lot more that I do need to research before I officially go in there and do everything. But I'm just saying I can relate to these struggles of these people. And so that's just another problem right there. And then there's a lot of physical barriers. People maybe don't have transportation, maybe don't know where the voting site is at. Maybe they're disabled in some way and they're not able to physically be present, especially with COVID going on, it's scary right now. So those are the reasons why people don't vote. These are the reasons why we're not seeing the numbers we need to see at the polls. So to get a little bit into how we want to change that, it's all starting with campaigns to get people to vote. Because in the end, the only way to change this is to vote. We need more numbers. We need more people voting. So to get a little bit into that, Milton Glacier was a design medalist, and he won for his design of making campaigns for people to vote. This started in 2010, leading up to the 2016 election. And he made a few campaign logos that said, If you don't vote, you are selfish and stupid. He a little bit attacked people, but it like was to wake them up. And then also he had one that quoted, "To not vote is to not exist." Basically saying, are you alive? Are you wanting changes in your community, in your country? Is this what you want? Because if you're a real person and you're living here, you have a voice, is basically what he's saying. So his campaigns were put everywhere. They would try to just bring awareness, bring people to realize they really do need a vote. And then lastly, KQED featured Domenico Montanaro. And basically he explained a certain situation where one vote would have made the difference. One single vote. So it was actually a police officer running for a GOP primary in the state house. His name was Kent Enze, and he lost the race by one vote. And he went to his coworker who had the chance to vote and, was talking to him about it, saying he was bummed, he didn't win, and he lost by one vote. And his coworker said, "Man, I forgot to turn in my ballot." And that right there shows you, if that one coworker who clearly was voting for his friend would have voted, Kent Enze would have had a re-vote, or they would have had there would have been a tie. He wouldn't have lost. So that one vote made a difference. You might think in the elections for the whole country that it won't make a difference, but just think about that one example right there. Maybe your one vote makes a difference for primaries. Maybe your one vote makes a difference, but your vote counts. Every vote counts. So just in conclusion, there's obviously a lack of voting done here in America. As I said, over 90 million people didn't vote in 2016. So 2020, let's vote. But there are many different reasons. People have barriers. People aren't able to. There's many different reasons. But whatever your reason is, try to find a way, or try to encourage other people to find a way. And so I'm leaving us here today with the thought that I expect everyone to vote. Every person that is able to physically vote, physically be there and do it, vote. Please vote. Please make a change. We need change in America. And especially as young people, just let this sit with you. Young people that are going through college, that are going to be making America. Like, we're going to be the next generation. We're coming up in careers. We're coming up in jobs. Like, please encourage your friends and family to vote. And I leave you here today with you as a person, please vote. And please encourage at least 3 people to vote. Have these conversations. Talk to people about voting. But please, at least 3 people, please. Thank you.